best running coil pack motors I've had. I've been using GoPros to film, and I got a fancy phone. I was like, you know what? Let's just try to film a whole video off my phone. So this is a Grand Cherokee motor. Turns out it's got a burnt valve, but well, I'm gonna crank it. I don't think I can hear it, but I'm gonna at least try. I'll go to the quieter side. It's kind of dangerous. I'm gonna put the camera real close in there and listen. I highly doubt y'all can hear that, but I think it's been run hot. I think the pistons are cracked. So instead of just junking that motor, I'm gonna build the most desirable 4.0 out there. If you haven't seen, I have a lot of Jeeps, a lot. But the 2000, 2001 4.0, they're just not a good motor compared to the older ones. So that's what essentially the motor I just showed you is. I wouldn't say scrap metal, it's a buildable core, but I'm gonna take it and turn it into a semi-rebuilt X-Chain motor, and we'll show you how. So got to get everything off this motor. This side be intake, exhaust, power steering, water pump. You do got to change these two back brackets right here. Distributor, that's not much change. Pretty sure motor mounts, and I'm gonna fix this. If you ever got a 4.0 leaking oil, it's usually that gasket right there. Not gasket, but O-ring. But that's what's crazy is I try to sell people a motor like out of this and tell them to swap their brackets, and they throw an absolute hissy fit about swapping brackets. I mean, we're talking maybe 20-30 minutes to get the motor you need, so it's not a big deal. We'll get her stripped down and go from there. Got the whole driver's side done. Took the wiring harness off, all that, water pump, thermostat. Took a whole whopping like 9 minutes. So get the passenger side took off there. A little more tricky. I know some people's probably more organized. I just chunk all my bolts in a bolt bin. Oh well, I'll figure them out. Got her all stripped down. That took a whopping 12 minutes. So like I said, combined time's like 20 minutes to get stripped down. A little longer to put it back together, but not bad. But let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna time it before I do that. Before I get any dirt down in the hole, sorry. And I'll show you that too. Yeah, let's get the head off there and see if we can find a piston. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. This ain't a rolly stand like the ones that normally roll over. So kind of sucks, but you can't crank one on a rolly stand, so I'm gonna talk on the phone. One of the little tricks I was gonna show you is got the head bolts and all that took off, but the push rods, all these are the tops, and I just lay them in sequence like that. And I've been doing it that way for years, and that way you ain't got to stab a cardboard box or nothing like that. Oh, that's what I was gonna show you. I couldn't pull the drain plug because it's gonna shoot over here. So I put a magnet and slid it down over that, kind of controlled the flow, and it's, of course, it's slowed down by now. But got head bolts and valve cover bolts in there, getting a little bath. And I'm curious to get the head off this, and I want to see the piston. It wasn't a bad tap, it was just something you wouldn't want to sell, so I'm curious what it looks like. There ain't nowhere to find no leverage here. See if I can get some sideways. You can just get it to break loose, it'll go. Yeah. Maybe that's good. Oh. These things are very heavy for a small head, or 4.0. Head gasket looks good. Usually if you got a blowed head gasket, it'll be, you can see black between there. I'm gonna take it off there. Really don't look that bad. Keep on digging. Look, little stuff like this just intrigues me. You can take it, spin it by hand, and that's pretty cool. Top dead center right there. You watch the first piston right there. That's before TDC, and yep, TDC. Got the oil pan dropped off. I don't see any pieces of piston in there. Of course, when it failed, it made a mess. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop the oil pump off, and I'm gonna do a rear main seal. Kind of aggravating on this stand, but I want the motor to be good to sell. So I'm gonna get, yep. I would think most everybody knows this, but if not, take a center punch and dot them. And I think I've said it on another video. I always do the driver's side. That way when you're putting them up there, if one's off, you know, kind of catch it. Something stupid I just learned. My magnet tray was dirty. I just put a rag over it. My magnet don't care about a rag. It's always my favorite part right here. I only got 2 of them undone, but one. I'll grab these before they fall on the floor. Let's see, right there. Making more of a mess. Always put them back together before you screw up and mix them up, because as much as I've done this, I still occasionally do it myself. Talking about the caps. Got everything took apart. Not the results I was hoping for, but we're gonna keep on moving on. I think I got an idea. The bores, they're not the best in the world. This one has just an absolute fuzz of a lip, and that's what me and Justin figured out, that this one gets it's the first one to get cold water, so I think it runs tighter, maybe. And then as the water goes back, it starts coming up through the head and goes forward. So this runs the coldest, and then this runs the hottest in the head. So number 1 and number 6 will usually be the ones that have wear in them. But like I said, all the bores, they're not, you know, brand new or nothing, but they're not bad. So this is what I hope I'm able to show you. I'm gonna lay the camera down, not like that. Yes. I'm gonna be real quiet if this will lay down. I think I got a wrist pin issue. If you can hear that, that's it going up and down. So that means there's slack between the oil. I'm gonna run over there and ask Justin about it, because I'm not a motor expert. And one of them, let me find the one. Yeah, I don't know how good GoPro. Actually, I'm gonna film this on my phone. This is the only one you can see the shade difference right there, and you can actually see the crack right there. It runs up, but I personally don't think that is the noise that I was hearing. So let's go ask him some questions. Carry him ahead, get some stuff I need. Got everything loaded up in the Jeep. Now I gotta make the long trip all the way right there. Every time this Jeep fires up, dog, he don't miss a ride at all, do you? Okay, so Justin firmly agreed that the wrist pin should have no slack. So I'm going to clean up some of these gasket surfaces, fix that oil leak, rear main, and we'll hone on this a little bit, see if I can get them looking a little nicer. And then for some reason, somebody's made an absolute mess. So I gotta clean all this mess up. One little thing I just saw is honing that little hole. I would turn it to the bottom. That way when you spray all this stuff off, it don't go up in the journal. I know I made a short video on this, but if your 4.0 is leaking oil and you think it's rear main, always check this. Well, that O-ring gets hard and flat, and what it'll do is it'll run down and catch this little groove, run back, and then it'll look like it's a rear main, but actually it's that O-ring. So be sure and check that. And I was gonna show you, I made a special tool. May have to go back and watch my short video, but there's no room in the Jeep to get in there, so that's pretty neat little trick there. This is gonna be a for sale motor, so like I said, I want to make sure it's right. So one little thing I've learned is the main cap, you know, they're like press fitted. I got a heel bar and stick it in the bolt hole and it just fall off. Hey, that rear main actually don't even look that bad, but we're gonna fix it while we're here. Just like y'all, I've struggled for years on getting the rear main to come out right there, and probably can't see it in the video, but it's a 30-second chisel, and that's what gets it out of there. And it's hard to show, but there's like a metal rod that goes through the seal, and if you can get on it, it'll come out. That's why I love working on Jeeps. I don't even have to buy parts. People buy this stuff and leave them in there, and then when I part them out, I get all this stuff out. So free parts. Be sure that little piece of paper looking stuff that the rear main comes with, I tried it one time and I tried it without it, and as you was pushing up there, that sharp block would just peel it off there, and I'm sure that's not good. Keeps pressure or whatever, so be sure and use that thing. In the block, before I applied that, I sprayed this WD-40 gel lube. Not sponsored by them, but I really like that stuff. And then right here, I use this, whatever that, I don't even know what it is, but just seems to go on there good and stay, so pretty good stuff. So get it bolted on there and keep going. Drove all the way over here to Justin's. He said he got me some new pistons that don't make as much noise, hopefully, because much trouble I'm going through. Want to be good. So these won't make any noise?
They look a lot better, don't they?
They look a little better.
That's all that matters.
We'll put them in there and see what happens. I usually don't even mess with the timing chain because they all look like that. That's what I've been doing it for 20 years. I can't tell you how many thousands of Jeeps I worked on. But this one, I had it so close, and being that I was selling it as kind of like a rebuilt motor, I decided I'm going to change it. Got the timing chain on. This is one reason I say I never even hardly mess with them. That's honestly not even much better than the using over there. So probably just a waste of money. I guarantee you that one is a heck of a lot better quality than whatever brand that is. I'm sure it's made in China. That one's probably not. So either way, it gets so confusing. I'm filming the short videos and the long video off the phone, so I missed what I just showed. I did a short video on is you can't get to that bolt back there, and well, that one you kind of can, but you're supposed to stick the timing cove up there, put the balancer all the way on, tighten the bolts, take it back off, and then tighten the bolt that you can't get to. So what I've started doing is getting the balancer about halfway on. You can reach in there with an open-end wrench, get that one tight enough. Of course, you can get on that one. And then, like I said, I always try to make sure it's flush with that one and that one just to help your gasket seal a little better. But I think I've got everything on the front. Now it's a long, boring process of honing. So I'm going to get that knocked out. Finally got that done. I'm not good at honing, so I'm not really going to let you see them. But like I said, I don't even hone them. I just do it because I'm selling this motor, going to somebody else. But get all that cleaned up and put some pistons together. I forgot that's one reason I don't like honing stuff is all that metal dust, like proper way. Justin hones them, takes them, well, he hones them and then washes them in his spin washer. But I've used like 3 cans of brake cleaner trying just to get all the metal dust out of there. And I'll probably run magnets and change the oil filter on that one, but it's kind of just is what it is, one of them things. This part's so boring, but be sure, rejig, top groove, second groove, bottom groove. And anytime they've got any form of dot, that always means it goes up. So I'm gonna get this part knocked out. Got all the rings put on there. That was so not fun, but got all these laid out. And one thing, do not put oil, grease, whatever you're using on the backside. I would have argued that, but I seen it on Power Block and they actually showed you it's, I don't know, in the thousands, but just don't do it. So get all them ready to go and stick in the motor. Know everybody's a motor builder in their own ways, but I take a glove and I got gear oil. I just smear it all on there. Whatever works. Got all the pistons in, and I was fixing to bolt the oil pan on. I got my thingies, got Permatex in the four corners. Realized that's the oil pump hanging in the garbage can. I wouldn't have run very long. The whole YouTube video keeps me bone puzzled. I forgot the whole point of the video was to teach you how and what you need. And that's if you've got your motor out of your Cherokee, you can just take it off and figure out what's different. Like everything that bolts, well, this accessory drive right here, that'll be different. And then this stuff right here, the intake and exhaust, that's different, common sense stuff. But this one I didn't have, so I had to go find an intake. I actually, well, let me show you. Watch out for that's busted, and even this one, that one's just JB welded just for this test stand, and they bust on the back corner too, so watch out for that. You can use a 96, 7, and 8 intake, but you need the new injectors. Head, obviously, coil pack head, I think most people know what that is. Smaller ports, throttle body. I actually think the throttle body will be the same. New gasket, water pump pulley, and a Cherokee water pump. And then these bolts are different. They're different on XJ, WJ, and ZJ. Valve cover gaskets, and the manifolds. But like I said, I think that's everything you need. Kind of left out that I was teaching that part, but got all the pistons in, so let's finish it up. And you need a head gasket if nobody knew that one. Just something I do after I do one piston at a time, and go ahead and see if it'll spin freely, because if you get the caps mixed up, and usually if they're wrong, when you bolt them together, the motor will get too hard to spin over, so catch it as early as you can. Getting there put back together, I always love pouring the oil right across the rockers because they just kind of sit right there. Just don't feel natural pouring oil in that way. But getting the valve cover gasket on, water pump, exhaust, and maybe we'll fire it up. Got all the boring part done. Had to run off that O2 sensor down there. I don't know about these, trust them. No water in it yet. Get old alternator mount. See if it, see. Sounds good. What's scary is that's where the exhaust comes out. So every time I'm standing like right here, you can imagine where I'm going with this, but it scares me every time. So this first fire up. Never know about like the injectors and stuff. They're just dumb out of the I forgot I bought a muffler for it. Check it out. Custom. Try it again. Wow. Actually sounds pretty good. So, I think it's about smoothed out. I'm gonna get some water in. Oh yeah. Don't tell nobody, but I needed something to keep my motor stand from rolling. Before I fired up, I just got to thinking about this whole build. You know, this is showing y'all stuff that I've learned over the years. And like locally, it's probably gonna hurt me. So, you know, somebody will figure out, hey, I can do this and not have to buy this expensive Cherokee motor. You know, I'll still get to sell this motor. But I'm hoping, you know, far off, somebody can use this information and be able to help them. And like I said, just been doing it for so long, and I hope I can help out in any way I can. You know, I've learned, there's no telling what all the stuff I've learned. So, I don't know, just enjoy doing it, but get her firing up. I did swap back to the GoPro just to kind of see if I can tell a difference in any of the film quality, but to be grounded at all. But once you get all the injectors cleaned out, it runs pretty good. Oh, that's the whole point of the video. I forgot. It don't tap no more. Nice and quiet. I don't know how I can read anything going that fast just at a idle. Y'all see the smoke, can't you? Probably one of the best running coil pack motors I've had. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to say. This engine's harness is for a 99, so I have to throw a distributor on there just to run the dyno stand. But if I ever get a good harness, I'm going to make it run off the coil pack. But just, I don't know, stuff like that takes time and don't pay the bills. But I think that's it for the video. Like I said, throw me some feedback. I know a lot of you probably don't even care nothing about this, but I know somewhere, somebody, it will help, and that's all I really care about. So appreciate it.